Welcome everybody to a very exciting chess video. This is Chess with Luton Vazwe and you are chilling with me, Luton Vazwe, on my channel. Chess with Luton Vazwe, my thoughts, my understanding, my interpretation of the game of chess and everything in between. Right, in this video we'll be continuing our look at the Cape Town Masters Challenge 2025, specifically focusing on the complaint that was lodged by two players, FIDE Master Kelvin Klaasen and International Master Watu Kobese, who were defaulted for round 5. So in case you missed their video where they explained the events as they happened, or you missed my video where I explained briefly what had happened between the players, allow me to tell you the story of what happened. Then after that, we'll be looking at the video and critique the opinions that they have given. So again, it is round 5. Watu Kobese, International Master, and FIDE Master Kelvin Klaasen are playing against each other. After playing a few moves, for argument's sake, let's say they played about 11 moves, the players agree to a draw. So it's a draw by agreement. The arbiter comes to them and tells them that they cannot agree to a draw by agreement because the stipulations of the tournament state that a draw offer can only be made after 30 moves. So the players continue, and around move number 12, the players find a threefold repetition where they move their kings back and forth. So white is moving his king to g1, h1, g1, h1, and black is doing the same, h8, g8, h8, g8. So the draw by threefold repetition is agreed, the players pack up, the players head home. And everything looks fine up until the players receive some type of communication. Not sure whether it was a letter or an email or what happened there, but they received communication which says that their game has been defaulted. The reasonings for the default are given, that they have brought the game into disrepute, that the draw was prearranged, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, we can only guess at what the arbiters actually said because there is nothing that we have been given to actually show why the arbiters reached the decision that they had reached. So the two players launched an appeal against the decision, and an appeals committee had to sit down so that they can consider the appeal. So the appeals committee consisted of 3 persons, Daryl Jacobs, Burton van Staden, and Mr. Paul Wilson. The appeals committee argues in favor of the arbiters and the decision that was taken by the arbiters, and the result stands as 0-0, which means that the players basically have lost the point for that game. Their half a point was null and void. So the two players withdrew from the tournament as a result, and then we find the video that was published by the two players where they explained their situation so that the audience can actually understand it. Now, a lot of people are agreeing with the sentiments that the players have actually taken out, but let's just have a critical look at the arguments that the players have presented in order to defend their case. So remember that the arbiters are saying that the game was prearranged, that the draw brought the game of chess into disrepute, and the players are arguing that the assertions of the arbiters are nonsensical, that this is some type of war being waged against players, and that they did not bring the game of chess into disrepute. So with that in mind, let's jump into some of the segments of the video that they had published so that we may be able to have a much more better picture. Now, right at the beginning of the video, the players make an admission that they were not aware of the Sapphire law, which stated that a draw offer cannot be made unless 30 moves have elapsed.
So the tournament has a rule, this is what they call Sophia rules, right?
Yes.
Where you cannot offer a draw before move 30.
Right.
And I wasn't aware of this rule. To be honest, I wasn't aware. I didn't read it in the brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, this is funny. So the players offered the draw, and their argument was that they had not checked the brochure, which states that you cannot offer a draw unless if 30 moves have been played. The question is, who is to blame for that? The players had enough time to actually double check all the rules and stipulations of what the tournament entails any new laws that are found within the tournament, any laws that are going to be abiding within the tournament, they had the privilege of not only just critiquing those laws and challenging those laws, the players had enough time to challenge the laws if they felt the laws was not actually in keeping with the regulations of the tournament. But they plead ignorance in this case, and that's the first point that we must notice, that the players were not aware of the very laws that were governing the tournament. In the video, it seems as if International Master Watu Kobese finds fault with the fact that the arbiter came onto their board, told them that they have to make 30 moves, and started the clock. And the argument that he has against the arbiter is that the arbiter made no communication whatsoever so that he can explain his actions as to why he has a problem with them making a draw by agreement.
The arbiter comes, Andrew Talmarcus, Mr. Andrew Talmarcus, and he says, no, by the way, guys, you have to make 30 moves.
That was a surprise to us both.
Oh, okay. Then he starts the clock. No communication. We don't communicate. No whatever. It goes on as usual. So the game resumes.
Now for me, this is a bit strange because knowing the nature of Mr. Watu Kobese, I would expect that if he has something that is unhappy with that is being done by an arbiter, he would immediately raise it up. He would immediately challenge the issue that the arbiter is raising. He would immediately challenge the arbiter on the decision that the arbiter is taking. It's natural to ask, why is it that you want me to draw only after move 30? If I'm really not aware of the law. But now this to me, very earlier on in the video, presents a catch-22.
In this document that was sent that shows that our appeal was declined, right, or denied, it mentions that there's no proof of pre-arrangement, which there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, the main basis of us being defaulted is that there is it's the moves are nonsensical, which we are gonna disprove now.
Yeah.
And the game is, they even reference, they paste some a quote from the Dubov Nepomniachtchi game.
Yeah, it's completely different. Yeah.
If you look at the Dubov Nepomniachtchi game, both players were moving the knights up and down.
From move 1.
Right? No sense at all.
Yeah.
And if you compare this game that we played, I can use as a lecture. I can use it as an instructive lecture. I can tell you all the intricacies why we played what, which we will look at. But if you take that Nepomniachtchi game and Dubov, it will put the game in complete disrepute.
Definitely.
So you.
Now, that's an interesting comment, but my question here is, are we to say that games which can be used as educational lectures or for educational purposes are not to be counted as games that can be used for match fixing and pre-arranging draws? I mean, what logic is that? Okay, let's listen to this clip from David Howell in the Champions Chess Tour 2021, where he speaks about too many Berlin defense draws being made in the tournament.
Typically, though, Levon Aronian, he doesn't really take those quick draws. He doesn't play necessarily the most safe chess. He always plays very principled, classical chess. He always tries to seize the center. He always goes for the attack if he can. And, okay, which opening will we see? We see the Spanish opening and Berlin defense. Okay, we do see the Berlin wall. And, okay, will we see a quick draw, Jovanka? This position after queen takes knight, pawn takes pawn, we are headed straight for a draw. This is disappointing. I was about to say Levon Aronian. I mean, I did say Levon Aronian. He never takes these quick draws, but there we go. This position has arisen so many times in the tour, and it's really testing our patience now, the players. I can understand they're tired. It's been a long event. They want to secure their place, but it is slightly disrespectful, I think, to the viewers and the fans.
Yeah, I mean...
Now, as you can see from the video, the positions that were reached were educational in nature, but yet we can see that the players agreed to quick draws because they knew that the lines lead to draws by repetition. And David Howell, in fact, characterizes that as simply match fixing.
The Nakamura-Ferrugia game finished, and,
Wow. And so did the Rajabov. So we're in round 12. We've had look at that. This variation 3 times, and I mean, is it harsh to say it's a bit disgusting?
Yeah, I don't think it's harsh at all. I think even the word disgusting is quite lenient for what's happening here. In other sports, they would just call it match fixing simply, and yeah, maybe the players have to.
But of course, David Howell is not an arbiter; he's a commentator, and he's just doing some commentary on the video. I was just also quoting it so that you may be able to see that the educational aspect does not work in arguing against bringing the game into disrepute, one, and also pre-arrangements of draws. Alright, then continuing with the video, Watu Kobese quotes a scenario where he tries to undermine the level of judgment that the arbiters use when they get to judge situations. And in this clip, he tries to show that arbiters, when making a ruling, are actually selective, and against other players they produce harsh exactness, but against the others they are just very lenient.
This, which is Ricardo Minar and then Dr. Mukwena, who is the so-called fair play, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that I played in one Moja event, and there was a clear game where the players were actually fixing the game. They were fixing the game.
Maybe more than one.
They were fixing the game. I'm not going to mention the names. Yeah. They were fixing the game, and the result was it was a thrown. One player threw the game to the other player. Okay, they were both title players. I personally went to both gentlemen because they were there, and I said, "This is a fix," and this and that. They said put it in. No, they tried. They didn't say I should put in writing first. They went up and down, this and that. Then the next round they did nothing, and the next round they announced, if you have anything, please put it in writing. So they let that stand. Okay. So in terms of their high moral ground,
same arbiter, same organizer,
same arbiter, same. Well, yeah, but he was organizing somewhere else. Appeals official, yeah. So it is selective.
Yeah,
so it is a selective idea of when do I want to impose things.
Now, there's something important that you must notice from the clip. Unlike this example, where the misdemeanor happened while the arbiter was the one that was overseeing the issues, the arbiter was not present when the cheating was actually happening. But Watu is the one that came and reported the issue to the arbiter. That would mean that the arbiter is relying on secondary information in order for him to make a ruling on a particular subject. Now, there are laws that the arbiter has to bypass before he can actually take such a case into consideration. And one of those laws is that he has to get the appeal in writing.